All right, so in this video, I want to talk about the 2026 coaching crisis, why the industry is growing bigger than it's ever grown before, continuously every year, but coaches are struggling at the moment. There's a strange difference between that. I want to get into that in this video and explain exactly why info products are failing at the moment, even though the industry is growing year on year. Now, kind of getting more into the paradox between the industry growing and the creators themselves actually struggling for the vast majority of them. The industry is growing at about 70% annual growth, but most creators, majority of them, are not profitable with their info products. Their conversion's actually decreasing. They're getting less people coming through their funnels and buying into their programs. And in general, they're just not happy with the way that their info products are going. A lot of people aren't even at a stage, or a lot of coaches aren't even at a stage where they're able to monetize their audience purely because they have no idea how to run their coaching programs correctly, how to market towards their audience the right way, and just the angle that they need to be taking to talk to the people who they're making content for. Now, getting into the main problem as to why most coaches who sell info products are failing at the moment. It's not because of the usual stuff that people would think. So funnel stuff, associations with pricing, or even traffic really as well. The main issues go back to the buyer, okay? Who's the ICP? Who are you selling to as a coach selling an info product? And majority of these coaches out here who are failing with their info products aren't doing key things which resonate with the people watching it, so much so that they would actually want to buy the product in the first place, okay? A lot of things are getting missed by coaches, particularly when it comes to the targeting, who the ideal client profile is, as well as what angle they're taking, what marketing angle. So often nowadays, coaches and people in these big niches like dropshipping or in trading will just go for the bog standard approach that every other person who is in that niche has gone for when selling info. If it's a trading offer, people are usually coming into it either intermediate or beginners. They need help with specific strategies, XYZ. So if I'm a coach going into this, I'm just going to copy that. Like, no, you need to actually think about what audience you have, what audience you've been cultivating with your content, and then take a specific marketing approach to that audience. If you keep repeating the same stuff that everyone else in the same niche as you has been talking about for the last 3 or 4 years, you're going to get mediocre results, if any, realistically. You need to be taking specific individual approaches to your marketing when it comes to selling info products, selling coaching, selling any sort of product to your audience. You need to take considerable time out of the whole process to look at your audience, understand who the ICP is, specifically to you, to your personal brand, and then go from there. That should be the first thing every single time when you're creating a new offer or creating a marketing plan for a new offer. It shouldn't just be, okay, well, I'm in XYZ niche, so I know the main issues associated with that niche. No, it should always be, okay, what does my audience specifically want? Now, there's a few ways that you can do that and collect that type of research for your audience. The first of which I would definitely say is conducting market research the right way. There's a right and a wrong way to conduct market research. You are still collecting market research by having an Instagram story up, saying that you've been cooking up something big for the last XYZ amount of months and that you need your audience's help for the final touches. Fill out this form and you'll get early access. That is a little bit outdated, and I think you should do this instead if you want to get more up to date and more specific market research for you as a creator or a coach. So what I think you should do is target people who are further down your funnel than other people. To be more specific, if you have a Discord community, if you have any sort of group that you already have up that's been free for a while, who are the people that are the most active within that group? Can you name people off the top of your head, audience members who have interacted with you the most, who have been fans with you for the longest amount of time? Those people are your ICP. They're going to have the most amount of knowledge when it comes to your brand and what they want, opposed to the thousands and thousands of people who might be able to fill the form out, but they're relatively new to your content and they're going to give bog standard generic responses when it comes to the questions that you're asking for your market research. So try your best to target people who are more already closer to your ICP. And you can find people like that on free groups that you've already created, Discord communities, Telegram groups, people in your DMs who've been fans with you for quite a long time. Now, market saturation. So this is a word that gets thrown out quite a lot. Oh, this niche is saturated, this market's saturated, etc., etc. That is not true for the info industry. There's so many niches, so many different coaches out there. What is saturated is the same old generic positioning, like I mentioned previously, same old CTAs on Instagram stories, no different perspectives on things, no specific marketing for a audience. And if we look at the data driven statistics of what is working, things like specific niches, authentic marketing to make sure that you are being your true self to your audience and resonating with them on a much larger scale. Some of the root causes that are associated with failing coaches within the info product space include things like lack of specificity, being too general in your marketing, like I've mentioned previously. The second root cause would be the just being in the wrong business model. And this should honestly say wrong sales model as well. We can look at a failing model at the moment. Quite a few people have their course on the front end. They get a sale, customer leaves, no recurring revenue, right? Whereas nowadays, a lot of coaches already have something like this set up, a free content, lead magnet, starter offer, and then moving it up slowly. However, if you just have this alone, it's not going to do much for your business because a lot of coaches, to be fair, do already have something like this up, this winning model. However, if you reinforce this winning model with actual specific marketing and advertising to your audience, the psychographics, understanding your ICP, understanding who you're actually speaking to. If you had to build a specific person from scratch who is your biggest ICP, who would they be? Understanding that, if you pair that with this winning model, that is when you make the most amount of money with your coaching because you're resonating with audience members who are ready to pay you for coaching, pay you for mentorship, etc. They just needed that little bit of extra push. You were able to give that to them by having content that resonates with them. So what are the solutions to the current 2026 info coaching crisis that's happening at the moment? Well, number one, and you've seen this time and time again, is there a difference between owning a niche and creating a niche? Well, yes, creating a niche is actually a lot easier if you do it well. Owning a niche, especially if it's an established niche, is extremely difficult, okay? That's why you see a lot more people, a lot more coaches in the info space nowadays creating their own niches. You look at people like Brez Scales. What is freelance brand scaling? It's an SMMA, okay? But he's created that niche. This is where marketing ties into things so well. If you create your own niche, you immediately become the market leader for that niche. You become the market authority, the expert. People are going to listen to you more. Again, if you pair that up with really good marketing to your ICP, you're in for a winning formula. The second solution, authority and community, this ties very closely into the first solution. But if you're able to command authority within your niche and within your audience group, you're going to be able to sell to them a lot easier because they trust you more, they resonate with you more, and they overall believe what you're saying. They have a belief tied in with what you're telling them, what you're teaching them, what you're preaching, etc. And finally, authentic and measurable. This ultimately just ties down to what's failing and what's working. We know that what's failing is generic content, picture perfect feeds, flexing cars, etc., etc. Too much top of funnel lifestyle marketing. It works to an extent, but if you don't have a back end system of content that you're putting out to accompany that front end system of content, you're just going to be one of those people who has a lot of followers but makes no money from their Instagram account or from whatever social media you're using. So now, if you look at what's working, real stories, and if you look at what's working on the other side of that, real stories, vulnerability, that's really the main thing that you need to be looking at, presenting real stories and authenticity to your audience. So just summarizing the 2026 coaching playbook that you can install into your own business now to scale to 6 figures per month with your coaching business. Ultimately, it just comes down to understanding your audience. In the info space today, a lot of mental bandwidth is spent tied to back-end systems, automations, the perfect sales funnel, the perfect pre-sales nurture system, etc. And while all that is necessary, okay, eventually you have to stop fiddling around with the back-end systems and actually start looking at what is my marketing like? What's my marketing approach to these people that I'm, that I've built this community and this audience around? Am I talking to them correctly? Am I presenting the right image to them? Am I being authentic? Am I being honest with them? How do they perceive me as a content creator and as a coach? Those are the type of things that are going to help you present a better marketing angle to them in the long run. So if you have to take anything away from this video, it's ultimately just that you need to be looking and more concerned with your actual marketing approach, because that ties into what content you're making, the perfect approach to selling a mentorship or a coaching program, and ultimately how you're going to be viewed in the long run as someone who makes content online. So if you're a coach or content creator who's making between 10 to 15K per month at the moment and you're wanting to scale to 6 figures per month, I have a link in the description to message me on Instagram where we can talk more and potentially arrange a call where we can go over exactly how we would tie the 2026 coaching playbook into your business, all done for you.